live in an age where social media is used by the majority of people. The capacity to post photos, videos, and happenings in real time has helped social media become a vital aspect of life. Social media have emerged as a powerful information and communication channel. But the question is, does social media can affect tourist travel destination selection? And that's what we're going to find out. Good day everyone, I am Trace Rain Obukid, one of the representative of Group 1 in Tourism 12A, and I will be discussing the introduction, objectives, the sampling technique that we used, and the questionnaires. Then later on, my group mates will be the one who will answer the proposal questionnaires. Our research is entitled Social Media's Influence in the Travel Destination Selection of Grade 12 Tourism Students in Tanawan Institute. To start this discussion, let's identify first what social media is. Social media refers to the social networking apps including Facebook, Twitter, Google, and Instagram. This can be used to post videos, photos, or other social media content. Other tourists plan their trip accordingly under the influence of social media. Such content may provide solid knowledge to students about different destinations. Social media channel allows individuals or other businesses to disseminate information and to influence people widely. In the context of tourism, social media are one of the most commonly used information sources. It is essential to understand when and how tourists use these channels at various stages on their travel decision-making processes. And now, let's move on to the objectives of the study. The primary objective of this research is to provide a holistic and integrated picture of the roles that social media play in tourist choices regarding the travel decision-making process. Specifically, this research systematically investigates the question of how social media used by the tourist and how their social media use affects their choices. This also aims to explore the role of social media platforms on the travel destination choices of a grade 12 tourism students in Tanawan Institute. This study may help us, students, to learn more about this topic and to obtain more knowledge about how efficient social media is in terms of this topic, as well as the student who will conduct the same study. Next, the subject of the study comprised of the grade 12 tourism students in Tanawan Institute academic year 2021 to 2022. They serve as the respondents of the study. The researchers had summed up the population of 27 grade 12 tourism students. The tourism students' respondents were chosen through convenience sampling. This sampling technique is applicable to our study because tourism students are the convenient source of information on our research. And for the questionnaires, to measure the concept relevant in the study, the researchers made a self-constructed survey questionnaire which is appropriate for this study. The researcher will read a variety of materials in order to create the needed questionnaires. The survey questionnaire checklist was used as the main data gathering instrument for this study. The questionnaire was divided into two main parts. Part 1 was divided into three components of social media application: Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Each of these components was comprised of 5 statements. The goal is to determine which application is most used in travel destination selection. Checklist scale was used with the following assigned values: highly observe. Scale 4, which is strongly agree, as very much agree. Scale 3, which is verbally interpreted as agree. And scale 2, which is verbally as slightly agree. And 1, which are verbally interpreted as disagree, respectively. Part 2 was modified as the role of social media in the destination selection of the respondents. The goal is to determine the role of social media to the travel destination selection. The questionnaires in the survey were being distributed by the researchers with the use of Google Forms. For scoring of responses, a 4-point Likert frame scale was used to score responses to the questionnaire items. The scores of each item was given corresponding weight value, with 1 as the lowest and 4 as the highest. Descriptive method verbally description were provided for the interpretation of results.
And that's it for the discussion of our research. And to answer the proposal questionnaires, we have Mr. Sario, Ms. Rivera, Ms. Cabcad, Ms. Fajardo, Ms. Galit, and Ms. Rio.
Janoward Sario, TOURISM12-A. What motivates you to conduct or choose the study? The social media platform motivates us to choose this study because the research we will going to conduct is timely and relevant, especially in the tourism industry. Now everything is on social media, including the tourist spot and travel destination. And it assists tourists in choosing specific tourist destination. The benefits of social media in the 3 places, where we will no longer problem conducting this research.
Jasmine Rebecca Ibig. Question number 2. What is your research all about? The tourism industry has been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, and because of that, many changes has been taken place, such as choosing the destination you want to go all through online. And also because of human safety, only limited people can travel. That's why we conduct a research titled Social Media Influence in the Travel Destination Selection of Grade 12 Tourism Student in Tanawan Institute. It reveals the existence of change in destination selection now that we are experiencing the pandemic. Our research also shows the influence of social media on how it is used by travelers in choosing the place where they want through online, and what it is impact on the tourism industry.
Hello everyone, I'm Laika Kapkad, and here's our answer for question number 3. How is your theory or concept relevant to your study? In our study, the theory that we use is relevant to our study. We use the theory of Cohen et al. 2014 and Gandare 2015. Those theories help us to explain the influence of social media to travel destination selection of the respondents. Those theories are relevant to our study because it supports our study since it discusses the influence of social media to travel selection. Author uses different of variables to explain further the said topic. And that's all for question number 3. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Nika Trisha Rivera and I will answer the question for number 4, which is how do you formulate your SOP? So we formulate our SOP by following this step. First step, we describe how this statement should work. Because when you do an SOP, you should know how to explain your topic, and before discussing the problem, briefly outline how the process will work if the current problem didn't exist. Step 2. We explain why the SOP matters. Indicate what the problem is, but it should also explain why it is a problem and why it is important to fix. Step 3. Backup plans. We did our studies, cite our resources, and have our data ready to present. And be ready to back up our arguments with facts. Lastly, we have step 4. Summarize your problem and your solution to it. This step should consist of the problem, and we need to summarize why it is the greatest solution to your problem. And that's how we formulate our SOP. The importance of the study. The importance of our study is to provide new insights to the tourism industry. In our study, we tackle the different types of social media are often used by people to choose which have a better tourist attraction. This study intended to discover the impact of social media in tourist decision making in travel destinations. Also, social media plays a huge impact on tourism industry. That's why people are encouraged to share their travel experiences. The social media has transformed the way people make decisions. People build their trust in a tourism agency based on the review of others. This research provides a holistic and integrated picture of the role of social media play in tourist choices regarding their travel decision making process.
The present study is conducted within the Grade 12 Tourism Student in Tanawan Institute and Corporation to attain the influence of social media and the travel destination selection of the respondents. Hence, this will be conducted in the first semester of school year 2021 to 2022 in Tanawan Institute and Corporation. This study aimed to assist the influence of social media in the travel destination selection of the respondents. Specifically, it's also determined the common social media application used in destination selection of the respondents. However, respondents are exclusively limited to grade 12 tourism students. Other strands at Tanawan Institute and Corporation are not included.
In our study, we use descriptive method. Descriptive research is defined as a research method that describes the characteristic of the population or phenomenon study. This methodology focuses more on the what of the research subject than the why of the research subject.
Researchers conducted a study which talked about the influence of social media to the travel destination selection of grade 12 tourism student in Tanawan Institute and Corporation. Descriptive method was used in this study to gather the facts about the topic. It is used in our study because of its suitable to the variables of the study. In this research, we are going to describe how does the social media affect the travel destination selection of the grade 12 tourism student in Tanawan Institute. It includes fact-finding study that involve adequate and accurate interpretation of findings. The researchers conduct a survey to gather the information within their result.
And for the last question, how was the experience of doing this research? Well, for our group in group 1, we experienced different kinds of emotion. Feeling proud whenever we accomplish a task, feeling frustrated if we're running out of time, and sometimes, not sometimes, always feeling nervous whenever we're presenting our research. We've come to an end through the hard work of everyone. That's why we would like to thank Miss Shaira for guiding us, for answering every question that we had. We would never forget the lesson that you taught us. Thank you very much. And that is the end of this research proposal. Before we end this, I would like to thank everyone who made this research possible, especially to my group mates, to the Group 1 members. Hope you learned something by watching this video. Thank you and God bless everyone.